Hey everyone, Wolf Lord Rho here. Today we kick off our latest Enemies of the Imperium week, and we're going to be beginning by taking a look at the cunning of Huron Blackheart. Spoiler warning to begin, as the events we're discussing today are from the Warhammer 40k novel Huron Blackheart, Master of the Malestrom by author Mike Brooks. As always, I really recommend you read the stories for yourself first, as that's the best way to enjoy the lore for yourself, without spoilers. But with that said, let's just jump straight in. Now, when it comes to Renegade Astartes, Huron Blackheart may just be the biggest name out there. Outside the traitor legions, is there really any name that immediately springs to mind? I'm not sure there is. Now yes, you could argue the traitor legions are the major players, but that would really be doing a disservice to Huron Blackheart. Through his leadership, the Red Corsairs have crafted an empire. From their base amid the Malestrom, the Corsairs threaten entire sectors. Blackheart has amassed enough power to threaten Astartes' homeworlds at whim. He has already devastated the Marines' Errant chapter, taking their precious store of gene seed. And he has even invaded Chogoris, the ancestral home of Jagatai Khan and the White Scars. Though eventually repulsed, it is only a matter of time until he returns to finish the job. When Abaddon the Despoiler offers you a Blackstone fortress to secure your services, you know you're doing something right. Huron is a cut above, and his success is entirely down to his mindset. Now, my absolute favourite example of this comes from the novel Huron Blackheart, Master of the Malestrom. Here, the Red Corsairs have invaded an Adeptus Mechanicus mining station, not quite the glorious reputation booster of a fortress monastery, but one that faces the wrath of Blackheart regardless. Huron knows he's got all the time in the world. No help is coming for the Imperials. This is in the wake of the Great Rift's opening. The Imperium is ablaze. If any worlds or systems are receiving answer to their distress calls, well, it is not a simple Mechanicum mining station. And so the servants of the Omnissiah are at the Corsairs' mercy. With their overwhelming numbers and power, the station has been largely overrun in short order. However, in demanding a status report, Huron receives word a single section still remains beyond their control. With a single corridor's access, the defenders have held off any assault thus far, and so Huron himself heads there. Now, upon reaching the corridor, Huron is met by a hail of fire, so he calmly waits behind the corner. And instead of pressing an assault, he calmly asks who he's speaking to. The defender, whoever they are, has some very formidable war machines at their disposal. 5 of them, which have so far held off the Corsairs' forces. Of course, no answer comes, so Huron continues talking, reaching out with his gifts of the warp to see who the defenders are. He senses just a single soul, unknowing if it's a lowly Mechanicum servant or perhaps someone higher. And this for me is where I truly came to appreciate the mind of the Tyrant of Badab. He begins by throwing out a compliment, commending the formidable force the defender has. So impressive in fact he can't leave it in service of the Imperium. And so, once they've achieved their objective, he'll destroy the entire station. He can sense his words having their effect, the fear rising. So he follows up by introducing himself, Huron Blackheart, Master of the Red Corsairs. And again, he asks to whom he is speaking. This time, however, he gets an answer. Datasmith Greaser Dalax, followed by a challenge of do your worst. Now Huron lets out a little chuckle at this, but you really get the sense that he's just got the opening he needed. With the Datasmith answering Huron, it's an acknowledgement that his words are heard. Not just the sound reaching the ears, but truly heard, making their mark within. Huron replies with just what his worst may be, the obvious death of the Datasmith and her machines, an orbital bombardment, eradicating the entire station. But then keenly here, he ends with the opening of an escape. I am a practical man. I detest waste. Perhaps I can offer an alternative. And this may appear to be a simple line, but it's actually a masterstroke, really speaking to Huron's intellect. Firstly, it's that glimmer of hope, that spark of light that would hit the still human part of the Datasmith's desires, to live. Perhaps I can offer an alternative. Like a life vest being thrown for someone drowning. No matter what your mind might say otherwise, an instinctive part of you just wishes to latch onto. And secondly, the cunning of Huron here. Speaking and using terms the Mechanicum would find agreeable. I am a practical man. I detest waste. In the space of one line, Huron has appealed, manipulated, both aspects of the Datasmith. The emotion of the woman, and the logic of the machine. And like an expert fisherman, he gets that bite. As the Datasmith asks, attempting to hide it with bitterness, just what that alternative is. And it's all over right there. With that opening secured, Huron delivers the answer. Join him. You can choose to die today, of course, end your existence on this miserable rock, and fail in your duty to care for the automata under your command. Or you can preserve your life, secure their ongoing function, and survive. Should you choose to, you can die tomorrow, or the day after, or the day after that. I assure you that the galaxy is never short of ways to die, and my warband in particular is full of them. If you feel you have chosen poorly, all you need to do is direct your Castellans to kill me, or one of my lieutenants. Then you can die a hero's death, striking at the Imperium's enemies. Perhaps you will even succeed. What I can assure you is that if you stay where you are, you will kill no more of my troops. I will simply leave you there and call death down upon you in my own time. Every species, every soul, no matter their evolution, size or intellect, are motivated at their very core by the instinct of survival. And again, with these words, Huron manipulates and speaks to it on more than just one level. End your existence. Again, that self-preservation, desire for life. And again too, fail in your duty to care for the automata. It's a verbal, psychological assault on both aspects of the Datasmith spirit. Or you can preserve your life, secure their ongoing function and survive. It's almost like giving a parent the option to save their family, just doubling down on this option for survival. All the while Huron is reeling them in more and more. With that desire to live firing within the Datasmith, now seeing a viable way out, it inevitably clashes with the more rational aspect of their mind. That it's all just a ploy, a lie, nothing more than a trick. that he'll take her machines, or his servants will corrupt them. However, Huron has no interest in either. If she works for him, her machines work for him. If a tech priest attempts to claim her machines, and she can kill him, well then he obviously wasn't worth keeping anyway. It's a real simple and, dare I say, logical viewpoint, and it really helps to show why Huron has been so successful. He's not some warlord who has to be involved in every aspect, every inch of those beneath his command, feeling like everyone and everything belongs to him. As long as you're loyal to him, that's all that matters. You have the freedom to act as you see fit, as long as you heed his call and follow his orders. It's really a type of freedom you would never get within the Imperium, where anything and everything is structured or punished. And yet, as I said, it's a more appealing, common sense structure than your average Chaos Warlord, who so often have to have their vanity appeased in claims of power. This is why the Red Corsairs have been so successful. This is why Huron is known across the galaxy. Because he's practical, he's logical. In many ways he feels more akin to a businessman. Rather than a soldier working for a commander, you're a contractor, delivering on a contract. As long as you deliver, that's all that matters. When it comes to chaos, that's a structure, a certainty you don't often see. In essence, perhaps Huron sums it up best himself. "I would not corrupt machine spirits for you," Dalax says, and Huron grins. "I would not expect you to. I am interested in the results, not the methods. If you can achieve what I require without resorting to such techniques, I will not censure you." Huron doesn't care if the Datasmith remains true to the Omnissiah, if she falls to the Dark Mechanicum. It's her choice, her perceived freedom. As long as she serves the Master of the Malestrom, as long as she serves him, as long as she delivers what he requires, that is all that matters. Here, Huron Blackheart gained yet another follower for his ranks, but we gained an insight into why the Master of the Malestrom is such a threat to the Imperium's survival. Because he doesn't care for the infighting, he doesn't care for the backstabbing and rivalries, he cares for the outcome, he cares for the result. The war against the Imperium is Huron Blackheart's business, and if anyone can deliver on that contract, it may just be the Tyrant of Badab. But as always everyone, what do you think? Why do you feel that Huron Blackheart has been so successful at the head of the Red Corsairs? Why do you feel he has amassed such power, where so many other warlords have failed? Like me, do you see his matter-of-fact, his logical approach as the keys to his success? That as long as those beneath him deliver when needed, the freedom he gives them, or at least perceived freedom, then it really makes him a breed apart from your average Chaos leader, at least when it comes to the Renegade Astartes. With this really logical and black and white approach, is it any wonder that Huron has amassed such forces, when compared to the strict, punishing regime of the Imperium? Could Huron perhaps one day rival Abaddon himself? Or do you feel that Blackheart's days are only numbered? As always, leave your thoughts in the comments below, I love to read them. Huge thank you to all my subscribers, your support truly means a lot to me, it really does. If you're new, please consider subscribing to help the channel grow. And if you enjoyed this particular vid, then why not drop a like on it too. With that said, I am off, and I'll see you all again tomorrow, as our Enemies of the Imperium week continues.